not a shocker that in order to travel, there's going to be a now vaccine passport. You have to prove that you either had the vaccine or you tested negative for COVID if you plan on traveling out the country, which I could see that happening. Duh. Normally, when you go to countries like Africa, you got to show your entire immunization record. So, come on. Only a matter of time. Speaking of COVID, oh, hold on, I have to take a sip of water. Oh my goodness. Okay, had 2 cups of coffee. Oh, I'm so cotton mouth right now. So speaking of COVID, if you go ahead and take your COVID test, please don't post it on social media. What does it matter that you have to prove on social media that you took your COVID test? When you do that, you know there are people that are looking at that and trying to grab all the information they can about you off of that. So now your identity is being stolen. So just don't do that. Ugh. Student loans. Did you know that they are being pushed back? Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting for Biden to be like, they're canceled. I got maybe $10,000 in student loans. Can we go ahead and wipe that out? And don't give me no bullshit about you got to make sure you graduated first. Because listen, I had a really great excuse why I didn't finish and I accumulated those freaking student loans. So don't give me that. And the school got their money. So it wasn't nothing in my pocket. Let's go ahead and just wipe them clean. Anyway, speaking of student loans. They're being deferred again. Mine, I got a letter saying mine is deferred until September 2021. I'm happy. I ain't have to do nothing about it. If you didn't get anything for that yet, I would say reach out to your lender, see what's up. I know that's definitely inside of the COVID relief bill. Sorry, I had to take another sip of water. Oh my God, talk about a kid experience from hell. So, so a mom had to sit 20 hours to get 150 little Velcro ball toys out of her daughter's hair. Now, it was a little white girl's hair, and it was long. So that means it was all the way up in there. I mean, like, you look at the pictures, again, up on the Facebook page. It's like, oh, she got a little afro now. Yes, yes, indeed. God. Oh, that would be so from hell. 20 hours sitting trying to get those little Velcro toys out. And it's not like you can just be like, fuck it, we're cutting this all off. Because it's like down to the scalp. Some of them were deep in there. Oh, God. Bottom line, anything Velcro. Don't have no little kid play with that. A Wakanda series is possibly, well, it's not possibly, it's coming. Ryan Coogler said it. He inked a deal with Disney to produce a certain amount of series and movies and stuff like that, and that is definitely on the list, a Wakanda series. So I'm assuming since his production company signed with Disney, it's going to be on Disney Plus, right? So I think that'll be good to see. I want to see how they keep it interesting because sometimes when you adapt a movie to TV, it doesn't translate well. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that goes. Equalizer with Queen Latifah. Did you watch it after the Super Bowl? I did. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what it's about. And honestly, I never like to watch the first pilot show because it's always kind of cheesy and corny. And with it being on CBS, you know, it's already got that cheesy effect to it. So I was like, it's good. I would probably have to catch it when it's more into episode like 4. Just because I think by that time, you know, they get the kinks knocked out of it, and it's better. Not a surprise, Nene Leakes is still not on a good foot. Seemed like everybody's kind of distancing herself. I told you the last time she was doing a whole boycott of Bravo. One thing I've heard about Bravo is you don't talk shit about them, because apparently they're pretty connected. So she feeling it. She got dropped by her entire team. I mean, like PR and all. And she's saying it's a whole conspiracy thing. Well, if it is, girlfriend, it could have something to do with your attitude too, Nene. I mean, like, honestly, the last couple seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I know you was going through some things, but you was pretty nasty. It wasn't cool at all. So Kobe Bryant's older daughter, Natalia, just scored a modeling contract with IMG Models. I thought that was awesome. I've never really seen her put herself out there like that, though, but I think this is good for her. I really do. So I'm excited to see just how far this young lady's going to be going. I'm excited for that. All right, so let's get to the hit the switch, the topic of the podcast, which is Bag Lady Unpacking. Now, I'm just going to warn you, it gets really, really deep. So be prepared to, get inspired. Maybe it'll trigger something in you, but got that coming up next. All right, welcome back. So this episode is really deep. Now, I have been totally evolving. And certain things in my life that may not have bothered me, or I thought bothered me, actually bothered me deep down. But sometimes we bury that so much that we don't really we don't acknowledge it until something happens and we just like snap. And you're like, whoa. And then that same incident just keeps playing over and over in your head. So that's where I'm at. So I ended up having to approach a relative of mine. With an incident that happened when we were both younger. I want to say I was late teen and she was, around the same. And I remember having a boyfriend and she was over and she ended up touching him as I'm like walking in the room. Like before I got there, her, nah, like that's not cool. And I saw her hands like on his belt. And so at the time, I believe I did say something, but it wasn't a full, listen, that hurt me. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And so years and years went by and it just never sat right with me. But I didn't really know it. You get what I'm saying? Like I kind of buried that so far that it just was an incident and I thought it was okay and I just moved past it. And so kind of growing and experiencing life and where I'm at today, I always try to evaluate myself so that I am never a stagnant person. I'm never a person that's not going to change because I know I have hang-ups. So I ended up really reaching out because the past 6 months, that feeling came back, and it made me feel like trust was broken. You get what I mean? And then I started looking at my entire life like, you know, I haven't really said things to people that maybe I should have, so that I really was able to express how that felt. I do have like another person that I have to say that to as well. And so I ended up reaching out and asking my relative to, have lunch. And so we sat down, and it was hard as fuck to actually say it. Because number one, I'm like, am I stupid? Because this happens, God, like over 20 something years, maybe more than that. And how is this person going to feel if I say this? Because I've held on to it because I'm like, number one, I don't want them to feel bad. I don't want them to be mad at me. And so it was so hard. But I did it. And let me tell you, I didn't do it to make that person feel bad. I did it because it was one step closer to me being okay with myself. One step closer to when I meet people, I can be honest and say exactly how I feel instead of holding it in and having a distrust for everyone. You get what I mean? My relative did apologize and say, gosh, I'm sorry that hurt you and you've had to carry that. And I appreciated that. But even if my relative didn't, the fact that they know I was able to say it was closure. Us as people are so complicated. When we think we got ourselves figured out, when we think we are okay, there's always a deeper layer. Sometimes that deeper layer does not get full closure. Because there's other things that I have that I know I will never get full closure with. But knowing the fact that I was able to say it, I was able to kind of, let it out. Some things I'm still holding on to. But the fact that I'm willing to kind of clean out that suitcase is what's important. I have another person that I have to say something to along the same lines. And it's so hard. Let me tell you. That is another step. It's hard to say it to somebody. So, I have